Привет, привет, уважаемые зрители мои. Сейчас у нас начинается стрим по новой игре. В нее я играю абсолютно впервые. Так что будем ее изучать вместе с вами. Говорят, эта игра довольно-таки интересная. У нее интересная сюжетная линия. Я посмотрел по ней гайды, обзоры. Привет, Влад, привет. Как я уже сказал, Влад, только что игра новая, я в ней вообще ничего не знаю. Что и как, поэтому буду играть вместе с вами. Спасибо большое. Сейчас я, как всегда, делаю везде репосты. Но на данный момент написал даты первый. Так, все. Вроде почти везде сделал репосты. Ну, почти везде, кроме Дискорда. Сейчас в Дискорде еще поспамлю. Все. Теперь можно играть. Что-то как-то у меня проблемы с оконным режимом в игре маленькие, так сказать. Блин. Вроде как проблемы есть, а вроде как их и нет. Хрен его знает. Ладно. Начинаем новую игру.
Once upon a time, the infamous rover Renato plundered the floating isles. Then his mother called him to her deathbed. "Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows," she rasped. Reluctantly, he swore. And he whiled away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the Emperor had changed. He'd been good once, a shy, almost humble toad. He'd built universities. Then people started whispering about mass graves in the woods, midnight rituals, victims screaming. The Imperial Ravens would round up entire villages, and no one ever returned. The Ravens had come to Ubar scouting for ancient books said to be of great power. But the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burnt the librarians. The citizens, outraged, had driven them off. The Ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of those books. He was brave and dumb and wanted to join the rebellion. And Renato had promised his mother he'd protect him.
Будем смотреть, чего у нас игра стоит, из чего она состоит. Кстати говоря, если бы мне сегодня привезли провод для второго монитора, я бы во Flatout первый и второй поиграл бы.
The kid was looking down, watching his city burn. "Sorry, kid," Renato told the kid. "Look, if we give them the book, they'll leave you alone." "My mother died for this book! I promised her I'd protect you." "Ah, damn it." The kid had run off. With the book, of course. So Renato had to run after him.
Ау.
The two ravens were staring at the kid like he was their dinner, which probably was what was in their tiny brains. Hey, Renato said. They cocked their heads at him. Pick on someone as ugly as you. Wait, that didn't come out right. For the Emperor! The ravens cawed and rushed at him.
Сюда нельзя.
A dropship flew overhead. He hoped they hadn't noticed him. The kid.
Ребят, скажите, пожалуйста, как там видео идет у меня или нет? Чтобы мне не проверять. Чтобы схватить. То есть так, есть.
Oh, right. The Gate of Heroes. Someone's idea of a joke. Making the Skyship docks a gated community. You needed a hero. A ship! I'm not taking that damn book anywhere. And neither are you. Try and stop me, laughed the kid. I bet you don't even have a hero sword. And with that, the kid hopped away. Had to hand it to the kid. He was an idiot, but he had guts. Where was Renato going to get a hero sword? Ore and wind essence? That sounds about right. I'll need a workshop, though. Perfect.
Ну и...
A hero sword. QED.
Так. Здесь мы ничего интересного найти не можем.
This is what he got for settling down and finding people to care about. The kid's mum had been a swell cook, and she'd laughed at Renado's jokes, even when he didn't know he'd made one. And then the ravens had come to burn her. And she'd made him promise to protect the kid. But she never told him where the book was, just the kid. He came up to a ledge. It was too far to jump. There'd been a bridge here before, hadn't there? And there was Peter, giggling at him. "How'd you get across?" he asked the kid. "Where'd you find a hook?" "I hopped," said the kid. Wise-ass kid. "Hey, look out behind you!" "Cute," said Renado. Ah, ravens. It was time to talk some sense into the kid. Just hook his way across the ledge and chase the kid down. Thing was, he hadn't used his hook since he'd retired. How had he done it? Maybe if he meditated at that altar there, he'd remember his old skills.
Чат сдвинуть. Я не вижу описания.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot, like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember. And there was the Farfarer. She was the fastest ship he'd ever known. She could do the Kestra run in 12 furlongs. Oh, so the salesman had told him. And something told him the kid was about to walk into an ambush. "Stop!" he shouted. "I'm not giving you the book!" shouted the kid, and took off. "No! Peter!" But the kid ran for it, and a goggler nailed him with its eye beam. The book was unburned. Next to it were the buckles from the kid's shoes, and a kid-sized pile of ashes. Damn it. Why hadn't he lied and told the kid he'd take the book to the rebels? The kid would be alive now. Really pissed off and betrayed, but alive. Oh, damn it. Renato picked up the book. He couldn't let the Empire have it now. He was going to have to get it out of there. He'd be a wanted man. Probably have to join the rebellion just to have a place to dock. Well, he'd hated home life anyway.
Ребят, вы хоть рассказываете, чего и как, нравится вам игра, не нравится?
What was the big deal about this book anyway? Maybe he should open it and find out. All that had been years ago. How many? The war was a blur, and now 3 Raven scout ships were chasing him. "Where are you running, rebel?" cawed the Raven captain over the loudhailer. Renato could see them cranking up their catapults. "Just going out for milk?" Renato yelled back. "Where can you run?" laughed the Raven horribly. Far behind him, another city was burning. The dark cloud above its island was thousands of Imperial ships. The fleet was doing a thorough job. "Take us to the rebel base! I will spare your life!" it called. The entire jury-rigged rebel fleet was only a few islands to the east. Beyond that were only the pillars of heaven. A sea of endless blood-colored tornadoes. The rebellion was out of time. Unless Renato could bring a game-changer. Maybe he could. Renato had found out where he could find the pieces of the Sky Ripper, the legendary weapon that had exiled the lost gods. Surely a legendary weapon could win the final battle. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino had sent Renato a desperate message saying he had a brilliant scheme to save the rebellion. If Renato could only rescue him. Renato dived the Farfarer towards the abyss. As he felt the heat of the jet stream, the Raven ships peeled off, not stable enough to follow him down there. Now it was time to choose. Lapino or the Sky Ripper. Lapino. Apparently, the mad rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lapino always wiggled out of trouble, given time. But he was out of time. The Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a rebel spy. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse. Had apparently managed to confuse the judge by stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens? Renado's blood was up. He just needed to smash something. If I craft a sword now, it's going to be really short. If he ever had a castle, he was going to hide his stuff better. It was good to practice your moves, thought Renardo. Keeps you limber.
больше ничего нет, да? Сюда никак не пройти. Хорошо, побежали дальше.
This was much easier than free climbing. People were frightened these days. Just 2 weeks past, Renardo had sneaked through an empty town and listened to the ravens call about the Emperor's new taste in ritual sacrifice. Firewalls only let you through if they think you're hot enough. Sometimes, at home, he'd wave his sword around for hours. Can't we just agree to disagree? said Renardo. No? Ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lupino. Where had the mad rabbit got to? Renardo felt a little better. If they didn't want their things broken, they really ought to make them stronger.
Truth was, Renato really liked the sound his sword made in the air.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot, like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Вроде как я пока жив, ребят.
Renato felt a chill run down his back. Or possibly a flea.
Или блоха. Неплохо записано.
Renato rubbed the fruit into his wounds. He felt better already.
Так, что-то интересное сейчас, ребят, будет.
Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, see, this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Ну, что хочу сказать, ребята, игра довольно-таки интересная по сюжетной линии. Сюжетная линия абсолютно разная и абсолютно разный финал. Абсолютно разный будет он. В зависимости от того, что я буду выбирать. Разработчикам 5 баллов, за графику я ставлю тоже 5. И за сюжетку 5.
Zenobia wasn't just the Emperor's daughter, of course. She'd been Renato's best friend in Sword Fu school. And you're still mad for her, the rabbit reminded him. They'd been close. She'd told him things no one else knew. But she'd never told him who she really was. She knows all the Emperor's plans, chuckled the master spy. She won't give them up easily. She'll tell the interrogators, all right, said Lapino. Taking her would change the game, all right. The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty. His mother never let him wave his sword around at home. He guessed he was still compensating for that.
Макс, ребят. Вот зараза, я знаю вот это вот.
Gogglers. Renato hated gogglers. It was almost impossible to sneak past them. If one didn't spot you, another one would.
Renato checked to make sure his sword was still working. Yep.
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renato hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renato. Oh, this is gonna be fun, said Lupino, as he ran to go set up his marvelous plan. A crafting bench. Renato wondered what he could make with it. was practically sure he'd find something useful in one of these things. Renato felt dubious about the whole plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But against all idiotic plan worked. Zenobia's to the geese, the net dropped, and Renato jumped out of the watermelon and put his sword to Zenobia's throat.
Renato, she said, are those new scars? They look good on you.
You never return my velvet jacket. It was my favorite.
You look stupid in velvet.
Ah, what does an imperial princess know about style? Oh, get a room, you two, said Latino. But the fleet was coming on fast, so they put Zenobia on the Farfarer and took her east, over the Nexus. She'd vanished from Swordfu School, from his life, without even saying goodbye, without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter. Ah, Lapina was right, Renato thought reluctantly. She knows things. She recognized his look. You're taking me to the interrogators, aren't you? She said, wide-eyed. And then she jumped, with horror. Renato saw Zenobia plummeting. Then he saw the Nexus below them. Cats always land on their feet. Ah, she'll head for the Imperial outpost, yelled Peppino. You have to catch her. Cats can run faster, but foxes can run longer. If he ran, he could head her off before she reached her minions at the outpost. Well, he did love a good chase. He wasn't that good. Yet.
Не хочу. Можно как-нибудь вниз спуститься? Надо запомнить, что нельзя подходить никаким камушкам и так далее, пока не обойдешься.
Renato hoped his mother wasn't watching. Who needed bridges anyway?
Такое ощущение, что сейчас будет мне бубо. Обидно, что этот телепорт только в одну сторону. Да, кстати говоря.
He was closing on her. He could smell her fear. He tried not to think about the interrogators at the secret base. What they'd do to her. Maybe it didn't have to end that way. Maybe he could talk to her. But, after all, there were worse things the Imperials had done to friends of his. Oh, this really didn't have much in the way of safety features, did it? Bernardo reached the outpost. The Imperials there were no match for him. Soon after, Zenobia limped up the path. When she realized he was already in front of her, she didn't even try to run. Oh, you left without saying goodbye. Again, he said, please. I'm enjoying this a little too much. She said, shaken. Oh, spare us the chit-chat, would you? Said Lapino as he shackled her hands so she couldn't throw spells. She knows all his plans. All the way back to the Farfarer, Lapino nagged Bernardo about how the interrogators would pry all the intel out of Zenobia. How that would turn the tides in the imminent battle. All they had to do was take her to the rebels' secret base. Bernardo didn't like to think about what the interrogators would do to her. Couldn't he just talk to her? As they pulled away from the Nexus, Bernardo could see the fear in Zenobia's eyes. I can't take her to those creatures at the base, he whispered to Lapino. Ah, you've gone soft. Soft in the head. We captured her for what she knows. I'll Take her to the mountains. Tell all the horrible things the Emperor's done. Yeah, believe me. She'll turn. And he turned the wheel. The hell you will! Shouted Lapino, and he grabbed the wheel back from him. The two of them wrestled for control of the ship. It shot off like a mad sparrow. Suddenly, Renato was falling. When he came to, Zenobia was standing over him. Why didn't you take me to the base to be interrogated? She demanded. Do you know what's left of people they interrogate? This is some trick, isn't it? To make me fall for you again. Well, I won't. Oh, go on then. Scurry back to your ravens. I can't stop you. But strangely, she didn't. As Renato set off to find the Farfarer, she followed him, keeping just out of sight of the ravens. I need more materials, thought Renato. Smashing things was fun.
Кажется, более-менее научился драться в этой игре. Какое-то кладбище забытых кораблей.
Don't look down, he thought. really ought to put a railing on this thing, he thought. Bernardo had learned so much about... Ooh, what was it again? As Renato stopped to sniff the wind, Zenobia came up, still mad. Did you really think you'd just talk me into betraying my father? Oh yeah, sure, that was Then why aren't you even talking to me? I've never talked you into anything in my life. Gonna court-martial you. He caught a whiff of the Farfarer. Went
Я не вижу
and a
гребаного
cask of Scobel ale he spilled.
чата из...
It was that way.
Это мне каждый раз, когда игра начинает говорить что-то, у меня изменяется оконный режим, меня это выбешивает вообще до ужаса. Привет, Максим. Как называется у меня стрим? Скажи, пожалуйста. Максим, как... Ты про жанр? Ну слушай, как тебе сказать? Бродилка, РПГшка. То есть здесь до хрена, реально до хрена различных сюжетов. Здесь практически после каждого уровня ты самостоятельно принимаешь решения. То есть там помочь или там
Renado's paws were
предать и
getting
так
numb.
далее.
Calaveras really didn't want company, did he?
То есть мне это в чем-то напоминает мою любимую игру Neverwinter Night от компании BioWare.
Renado wondered if he should have taken Zenobia to the rebel base for real. Maybe she wasn't playing him after all. After the bleak talk about the Emperor's dark secrets, he was regretting his suspicions.
Но я тебе честно скажу, вот 5 баллов ставлю оценку 5 за графику, 5 за сюжетку, 5 за развитие событий, 5 музыка, то есть реально игра того стоит. Ну, лично для меня. А ты как, Максим, такие игры любишь, нет? Ну она платная со Стима. Вот, если у меня в ближайшее время, по идее, должен появиться второй монитор, и тогда я буду играть в Neverwinter Night от компании BioWare, но у меня вся коллекция игры со Стима тоже есть. Ох, вот там я могу засесть надолго. Но игра реально офигительная, как видишь. Ну, по жанру, на любителя жанра. Мне еще предложили в какую-то игру поиграть. Там, короче, это она до 1 сентября бесплатная. Но там бои 2 на 2, 4 на 4, 8 на 8. То есть там реально месиво, там махачи такие, там крови много. То есть там бошки отрезают, руки отрезают и так далее. Но я такое не люблю. То есть игру скачал, типа, чтобы было. И все.
Hero Wall, Hero Sword, Ice Wall, Ice Cube.
Не, это точно не стратегия. Ну, хотя здесь надо думать, как видишь. Ну вот видишь, я сам ворота не открыл. Нужно определенный там меч или кубок, то есть, который сейчас буду искать. При этом здесь разные мечи у персонажей есть. Я себе выбрал меч, поскольку люблю хиллерами играть, который хилит. Если я нажму Shift, вот я сейчас мигаю энергией, я трачу энергию, но сам себя могу вылечить. Это мой стиль игры.
Sure enough,
The Farfarer had crashed in some rocks. There was no sign of Lupino. Zenobia caught up. All that kid stuff in Swordfu School. Look, look, that's the past. We're adults now. We have duties to other people. We have destinies. What are you talking about? And you are the most arrogant, slow-witted, light-fingered, mercenary, immoral, reckless. Run away with me, said Renato, and he realized he meant it. Just like that, she
Видишь,
demanded.
какие прикольные
I
музыки
will,
здесь.
if you will. So, she kissed him. And it was the best kiss he'd ever had. They held hands as they boarded the Farfarer. Renato felt light-hearted, like the winds that were playing the rigging like a balalaika. But Lupino, I need to get back to Lupino, he said, suddenly realizing he could have been captured. A prisoner. He's not. How'd you know? He saw something in her eyes he didn't understand. He fell, didn't he? Into the abyss. She looked away, wouldn't answer. But then a bolt smashed through the Farfarer's keel. The broken ship plummeted out of the clouds.
Кстати говоря, стратегии типа Age of Empires и так далее я тоже с детства не люблю.
Renato picked himself off the deck. They were alive.
We have to get to my private ship, she said. Do you trust me? I guess I must, he said. You go on ahead. Clear the path, she said. I can't kill my own soldiers.
He wanted to say that he didn't trust her, that he had no idea what he was getting into. But he had no choice, did he? He was following his heart. That's what it means to be a hero. You had to follow your heart.
Надеюсь, ребята, ваши лайки заслужил репост, заслужил. Если у кого есть желание, на ссылочку Donation, есть ссылка в описании канала. Не, я понимаю тебя, но знаешь, вот, например, вернемся к тоже старой доброй Age of Empires, там второй, либо первый, не суть важно, либо какого-нибудь аналога, там пираты еще, там Sega и так далее, или только компьютеры, когда появлялись. Многие там, ой, побыстрее развиться, побыстрее построить замок, побыстрее там захватить врага или выиграть там у кого-то. Сражение я никогда такое не любил. Я всегда предпочитал больше, как бы сказать, это грамотнее. То есть не спеша построить, не спеша развиваться и так далее. То есть мне никогда не было интересно игры на скорость, а на время, уровни, да. Для меня хуже некуда, чем на уровне, на время уровней. Я только хотел выйти покурить, а мне кот залез на колени, блин. Вот, видишь, здесь есть верстак. Я не хочу себе меч другой. Вот у меня красоты нету. Но говорю сразу, именно вот эта вот игра, она у меня со Steam, она платная. Сейчас будет драка, и большая драка. Проверяем. Это я так думаю, что будет драка, а гарантии не даю. А, нет. Так это поудобнее кладу на коленях. Чё-то как-то мне полянка это не нравится, ребята. Как знал. Просто кот у меня привык, что я ему даю на ночь кучу корма. Ну не кучу, но горсточку. А здесь ему перестал надо ждать. Он задолбал уже просто. Ложимся спать, он жрать идет, шумит. Теперь он вредничает. Видите, вот меч не тот, надо этот меч найти еще. Ой, ёпта. Давайте. Максим, а ты как? Лицензию будешь покупать, играть или пиратку найдешь?
Renata felt like he was ready to learn new things. Thank goodness he didn't have to go to school for that.
Зря на самом деле. В всяком случае, ну я так считаю. Я тебя понимаю, как бы. Но, например, у меня Евротрек и American Truck Simulator есть. Так, что там где нужно? Так это любое расстояние. Так, требуется. Что там требуется для этого? Безупречный удар. А как его получить, безупречный удар? О, так он же у меня есть. Ну, Диабло на любителя тоже. Я, например, никогда не любил Диабло. Первая истина раскрыта. Вот как истина раскрыта открывается уровень умений. Ну, World of Warcraft как-то тоже не пошло у меня. Вот Lineage старая, Lineage, там хроники старые, там Дофрей, у меня пошли, а Warcraft как-то с первого дня не полюбил я. Я не знаю почему, ну просто, знаешь, такое не мое. То есть я не говорю, что игра плохая, у Warcraft вообще мультики шикарные, то есть мультики потрясающие. Я все хотел собрать как-то, ну, с помощью ребят, геймеров, знакомых, всю серию всех мультиков со всех частей по World of Warcraft и смонтировать целое видео. Давайте хпшку увеличим, что ли. Или оставить пока.
Swell. He'd always wanted to do that.
Сколько мне там дали-то? Плюс 50, ну тоже неплохо. Не, ну ты сам видишь, игрушка такая ненапряжная, интересная. Я бы сказал, даже юморная. О, здесь дорожка есть.
The portal was heavily guarded. It must go someplace they really didn't want it to go.
Управление, смотри, ПКМ, правая кнопка мышки, это вот я двигаю персонажем. Левая кнопка мышки это удар. Если вперед и удар, это он вперед налетает на врага и делает всякие контратаки и так далее. Если Ctrl левый это перетягиваться, ну, перепрыгивать. Ой, если Alt левый, прошу прощения, если Ctrl это вот такой рывок ты делаешь. Если зажимаю Shift, вот и я сам себя могу лечить. С мышкой.
What was really fun was hooking yourself onto a moving ship.
О, видишь, нашел сундук. Портал. Ох ты. Чё-то как-то это. Мне уже маленько страшновато. Ладно, посмотрим. Угу. Вот ради интереса, вот смотри, вот доски, которые я разбил, вот ящики, они исчезают. А вот флаг я уронил, он не исчезает, заметь. А вот рукой исчез. Виноват.
Once, he'd found a Superman issue #1 in mint condition in a jar he'd broken. He planned to keep breaking things until he had the whole series.
Ты читал чат? Кстати, ты вообще как относишься сам к жанру РПГ, Максим? О. Что-то как-то мне страшновато туда заходить, но ничего не поделаешь. Тогда я тебе рекомендую, вот если бродилка с хорошей сюжетной линией, там реально очень много часов проведешь, это, повторюсь, вот игра Neverwinter Night от компании BioWare. То есть мне, в принципе, можно и в пиратку поиграть, но так как игра все-таки любимая, я решил себе лицензию, мне точно подарили со Steam прямо. Только с двумя дополнениями Neverwinter Night, там что-то Underdark и Underheart как-то. То есть запамятовал уже название. Могу хоть сейчас тебе их назвать. Куда здесь опять бежать? Вот. В теории я куда-то прибежал. О, портал. Кстати говоря, что здесь еще такое есть? Здесь ты, когда получаешь уровень, ты ХП не восстанавливается у тебя от этого. То есть вот я сейчас буду хилиться. Зажал Shift, видишь, у меня кушает энергию, но при этом я здоровье восстанавливаю. Но у меня стиль игры, как я говорил, такой. Я люблю такие вещи. Отдайте. Ну ладно. Да ёпти. Верните меня назад. Блин.
There was a sign. Take the goat across
Фейбл?
first.
Нет, что-то незнакомое. самое главное, это колдуна уничтожить было. Что в основном меня удерживал на месте колдун. Так, я сейчас пойду перекурю. Скоро приду. Не отключаемся. Ну что, ребят, продолжаем играть.
To catch their breath. It was strange to be so close to her. What are you thinking? He asked. I'm trying very hard not to think. Me too, he said. Up ahead, he could see the thin silver of Zenobia's personal ship. It looked fast. They would leave all this behind.
Сейчас еще немножко постою, ребята, чтобы восстановить энергию и восстановить свое здоровье, соответственно. Если есть какие-то вопросы по игре, задавайте их, отвечу с радостью на них. Посмотрим, что здесь. Так. Тут ничего нету.
Let's do this again sometime.
Немножко энергии подкоплю.
He'd once met a pirate captain. He used hooks to get around his ship. Oh, what was his name again?
Renato knew more than he ever had. But about what?
Может, я неплохо научился драться в игре.
This was definitely better than pulling yourself up in a bucket.
Скучно здесь не бывает в игре. Сейчас, кажется, опять бой будет.
As they reached her ship, Renato suddenly felt a sharp pain in his stomach. He was surprised to see a crossbow bolt sticking out of it.
I was going to lead the Empire to our secret base, said Lapino. But no, you had to screw up my plan because you still got a thing for her.
Renato stared at Zenobia. The kiss, was it real? She said, with a look of indescribable sorrow. She gestured and said an arcane word, and Lapino went flying into the abyss, screaming, "I'm telling your father!" Then she knelt down to cradle his head, and her paws felt very soft and warm. Okay, that was weird.
He could have sworn he just died. Instead, he was on the Farfarer, sailing away from Ubar. And it was still burning. He'd fled burning Ubar years ago, hadn't he? And now he was back there. Had all those years fighting the Empire been nothing but a vision into the future? A useful vision if it was true? He'd learned something. Lapino was a traitor. Renato had suspected there was something wrong with the Mad Rabbit. But now he knew there was malice behind his goofiness.
История 5. Герой, который всегда следует зову сердца.
He'd made bad choices. But now, when the real battle came, he wouldn't make those choices. He wouldn't make the same mistake twice. The book's pages began to flip backwards, towards the beginning. And he realized that his adventure was just beginning. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Вот, кстати говоря, ребят, как вы спрашивали управление, вот оно управление. А вот сменить мечи, это колесико. Как мне их сохранить?
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base.
They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor.
Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Что жду от вас мнения, ребят, стоит ли мне играть дальше или на сегодня стрим закончить? Ладненько, я думаю, тогда на сегодня я закончу, ребят. Наш стрим, подписывайтесь на мой YouTube канал, вступайте в мою группу. В группе можете писать сообщения, стримы, от каких игр вы лично хотели бы увидеть. И вполне возможно, я эти игры постримлю. Всего вам доброго и до скорого. Пока-пока.